Well, hello, Stampers, and welcome to the Global Monthly Video Hop. So, I join with demonstrators all around the world to do a fun video hop with you. The theme this month is anything but a card. Now, I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I really didn't want to make a box. I was thinking of maybe some kind of sampler or something, but I wanted to do something that was really artistic, which is totally out of the box for me and a little bit out of my comfort zone because I do not consider, I've never really considered myself an artist. I'm just starting to get comfortable with that thought. So I hope you're ready to join me for some great fun with watercolor paper, with stamps. I'm going to use mostly ocean front, and I'm also going to use the stamp set Let's Set Sail. Now be sure to check the links. Click on show more under the YouTube video and you will see the links for all the other talented people that are participating in this global video hop. And I hope that you hop from one to the next. And we love it when you leave comments. It's so nice. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe so that you can catch us every month. And let's get started. I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, you're not seeing anything yet. Here is my painting. I wasn't sure if I was going to add words, so I might add words to my second one. So the boat is from Let's Set Sail, and the rest is from Oceanfront. And I think the birds are from New Horizons, but we'll get there, okay? So we're going to start with our Fluid 100 watercolor paper, and I measured my opening, and it is 4 inches by 6 inches. And this watercolor paper is, I think it's 7 by 5, okay? So let's take a look, and we're going to chop it down. So I need 4 by 6, and this is, yeah, it's 5, so that's too bad. But what I do, I save my extra pieces, because you're thinking, what on earth can you do with this? And there's not a lot you can do with this, but it's a great little scrap for testing out colors and such. Okay, so 4 by 6 is what we need. And the first thing I do before I do anything else is I take my spritzer, and I'm just going to spritz the whole thing. I'm just going to wet it down, okay? It's not soaking wet, it's not puddling, but it is wet. And then I'm going to use my Stamparatus, because the Stamparatus, and my Stamparatus is filthy. I'm not going to lie, there is not a clean thing on this, and that's just the way it is. So we're going to start with building a scene, and I'm going to start with this one. And I had such a hard time, and the trick is that it doesn't go straight across, it has to go on an angle. And the bumpy part goes flat, so it goes a bit like so. I'm just going to lay it down, and I'm going to ink it up with Sahara sand. Now I also have, and it had probably a little bit on it, I have a water painter here, and this is just stained, it's not green anymore. But I have it ready to go, and you'll see why. I have my spritzer handy. And now I need my Sahara sand. I must have put some things away. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so here is my Sahara sand. Opening that up. And tap that. I could spritz this as well for more water, and maybe I will. There. And then we get quite a nice little waterlogged look. Now what I like to do right away with this, I want to just spread that out a little bit. So I'm squeezing this to make sure I have some water, and I'm just going to spread it a little. And then I'm going to take it off and do another one. And I keep my chamois handy, and I really should have paper towel as well, because you want to dry your Stamparatus. When your Stamparatus gets too wet, then the stamps don't stick. So I'm just going to move this, and I'm going to put it lower. I want to stamp it again here. And I'm going to grab a Kleenex and just dry this off. There. Oh, look how dirty that was. Incredible. I had no idea it was that dirty. Okay. So now we're going to pick up that stamp. We're going to ink it up again in Sahara sand. And I'm going to give it a spritz. My spritzer fell on the floor. Here, there's never a dull moment with this crazy squirrel. So give it a spritz. And when you're doing this with other people, make sure that the spritzer isn't going in the wrong direction, because you will get someone in the face. And again, I'm just going to spread it a little bit. There. And now the next layer is going to be this one here. And I want that to be my water. So we're going to lay it, and it's okay for there to be a little bit of white in between, okay? And oh yeah, I'm gonna take off my sand layer. And there we go. And now the water I'm going to do in Coastal Cabana. Maybe I'll do the first one in Pool Party. I want to soften it up a little bit. My first one was a little bit bright. So I'm doing Pool Party, and then I'm spritzing. Here we go. Let's have a look. There. And I'm going to move it just a little bit. And then I'm going to do it in Coastal Cabana, and then I'm going to water it up a little bit. Here, just a little bit overlap. I'm going to dry it off. Here. And now we're going to use, I'll close up my Sahara sand for a minute. I'm going to use the Coastal Cabana, which is a little bit of a brighter blue. And then a spritz. Did I lose my spritzer again? Oh no, it's right here. I think it's almost dry. Here. And now, there. So now I'm going to just move my magnet. I think maybe it was in the way. There. And just squeeze this so that you get a little bit more water flow going. There we go. And I could spritz right on. I'm feeling like my thing is almost dry. There. Here. You want it to be nice and wet. I don't want those solidy lines. I kind of want to spread it out a little bit. Okay, that looks good. And now we're going to do the sky. I first have to dry this. And you know what? I am going to go and fill up my spritzer unless I can find another one. I have two. And they're two spritzers for $4, which is super cheap. I find it a really useful tool if you need to fill up your host rewards, or if you're getting a starter kit and you just need to add a little bit. It's a great thing. So now we're going to use this flat piece. And I'm going to do it in Misty Moonlight. There. Oh, you know what? You know what? It's here now. We'll leave it. I'm stamping a little closer to the hinge than what I would like. And Misty Moonlight, when you get it wet, it gets a bit of a purpley tone to it, which is interesting. All right, I'm going to leave it like that. And give it a little wash. It's kind of neat. Everything that you do, every piece that you do is going to be different. I'm going to do it again. There. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that off and just add a little. And now I've tried something and I thought it was really cool. I was just playing, and I'm going to just see if it works. I don't know if I have enough wetness here, but I want to take this cloud stamp, and I'm just going to make it wet. And you know what? I'm going to turn it around so that I'm away from the hinge. So here we go. And I'm going to just get that on the plate. And then I'm going to spritz it. I'm going to clean that again. I'm going to spritz it with water. And what that's going to do is it's going to take the color. Oh, now it's dried up. You know what? I'm going to finish. I have to fill this up. I'm going to pause this for a minute. So I've been stamping all morning, so my hands are a mess. That's okay. It's like you could tell a mechanic by their greasy hands. You can tell a stamper by their inky hands. Oh, now I filled it too full, I think. Nothing is happening. Don't give up. There. Oh, goodness. I thought I was stamping in the right direction, but I was not. Okay, so I've just watered this and I'm picking it up and see it's going to leave a cloud shape. And you'll see it a little bit more later. I'm going to do one on the other side too, over on this side. And I just thought it was a really cool look. There. There. And we'll see how it looks, but you can definitely see a little bit of a cloud happening there. And I don't know if I want to do anything else to this yet. But the next thing that we're going to do, and it's fairly dry, so I think that we're safe to do this. I'm going to do the reeds along the side, and I'm stamping those in early espresso. So, rid of the cloud. Dry off my stamp apparatus. There. So there are the reeds. And early espresso. So I want a little bit of boldness here at the bottom. And you can layer, the beautiful thing about working with watercolor paper is that you can layer colors afterwards too. So here is my reed. See, in the last time, my paper was too wet, so my reed got a little bit, it really got distorted. And I worked with it because that set the tone for the rest of what I did, and it worked out. So I will let you compare the two when we're done. You're going to see two totally different paintings. But it's just fun to use your stamps with watercolor paper and with water and transform them into a scene. So there we have that. And I'm just going to clean off my stamp apparatus. I should have put a piece of grid paper in behind, but I did not. And it's not too late. So our grid paper comes in a little pad that fits right into the stamp apparatus, and one side is centimeters and the other side is inches. So it's quite handy, and we're going to do that. It keeps your stamp apparatus clean. Now we want to add a little bit more of these little reeds. And I suppose I'll do this one with the stamp apparatus, but you can just use a block as well. The nice thing about using a stamp apparatus with watercolor paper is quite thick and porous, and sometimes you don't get a really good dark image. And then if you use the stamp apparatus, then you can do it a couple of times, and that's really nice. I'm going to use a lighter color. I think I'm going to use Crumb Cake or Sahara Sand here for these reeds. I just got some on my thumb. Oh well. Oh yeah, see, that looks nice. It's not quite as dark. And I'm just going to take my block and we're going to finish this. Because this is just filler, I feel like I can use, I'm going to turn it so that you guys don't have to watch me stamp sideways. Here. And then this is going to go a little bit lower. And I might add a few in here. And there. And then there's a few more little grassy bits in this stamp set. It's just so nice. And now I just lost my whole stamp set. I do this on a, oh yeah, you know how I lost it? I put my chamois right on top. I was going to say, I don't know of anyone else who loses things with greater frequency and regularity than yours truly. So now I have this tiny little one, and I'm going to do it dark in here. And then I'm going to go lighter. Stamp off. And now there. So we've got a few shades going. And I'm going to do the other tall grass again. Here. Off. Oh, see, if you stamp off and you didn't do it totally, like that's half off, you're going to get that line. You don't want that line. So I've stamped solidly and now off. And that looks good. Maybe I'll do a few short ones here. There. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I got ink. There was ink on this block and it ended up here. What I might do is just wash that away. Just I had blue on here. I didn't know that. So now I have blue on my hands. But it's all in for a good cause. Here, I'm just going to kind of move that away. There. Now it's just a dot. Doesn't matter. The next thing I want to do is I want to add a little bit of interest to the sand. And to do that, I'm first going to take off this from the block. I don't know how I did that, but when you get ink in places that you don't want, that's when the trouble starts. So I have this little dotty stamp, and I'm going to do it in Sahara sand, and then just look, I'm going to add and just in between in here too. There. We just want to create, we don't want it to be one-toned. We want to add depth. We don't want it looking flat. Even in between here, it's okay to add a few more dots. Okay, so I want to do the boat, but this is still a little bit wet. I might try to do it anyway. I think I'll turn it this way. And let's have a look, see. So all we need now yet is the boat and the birds. And when I first did this, I just left the boat and the boat was far too stark. So then I added more water to it. So I'm going to lay the boat here. And I did the boat in early espresso. At first I was going to do it in navy, but we're going to do the boat in early espresso. And I made the boat bigger. It's not going to stay like that. But for now, it is. And then I'm doing the sails also in navy. And the sails have a little bit of a stripe to them, but when I stamped them, I didn't want to keep that stripe. And I'll tell you why in a minute. You'll see it for yourself, I'm sure. Let's have a look. This one is going to go on this side. So you want to jut that up against your sail, your mast, I mean. Here we go. You can see how wonderful the Stamparatus is. Even a filthy Stamparatus is quite a wonderful thing. I keep saying, every time I do a video, I keep saying, oh, I'm going to clean my Stamparatus, but it hasn't happened. Okay, so, you know, I should clean those others. Here we go. It's kind of interesting that I'm doing navy on navy with the sails, but it's I don't know what it is. It seems to be, it's working for me. There, and then the other one. So we're going to lay that one on here. It goes a little bit lower. Don't ask me why. My ex-father-in-law used to have a sailboat. But I got seasick on it once, so I was never a huge fan. It is nice. It is very peaceful to be on the water on a sailboat because there's no noise at all. The big advice is to not go below deck when you're not feeling well. Okay, so now I'm just going to lay this here. And I don't know, I see, you know, watercolor everywhere, and then the boat is just a little bit too much. So we're going to, here, let me just close this off. Close. And I think I'm going to create my sky going up a little higher too. Okay, I have no idea how much of this video was missing, but I am not redoing it. This is where I've ended up. I used a white gel pen right here to do the thing on the sail. and I added some birds. I don't know if you saw that. And then the last thing I did was I used a marker to color on, oh, this is Misty Moonlight. I used a Night of Navy marker to color right on the stamp. Here, I'll show you because I don't know how much I missed. The problem with hitting the pause button when you make a video is that sometimes I didn't pay enough attention to make sure I was hitting the button to play again. And the dog was barking like crazy, so I wanted to stop that. Okay, well, I will have a look and see, and if the video is really bad, I'll do another one, but I really hope I don't have to. All right, so here you have it. This is anything but a card for the Global Monthly Video Hop, and I chose to make a painting and a framed art piece. And now I'm going to just physically grab my whole phone stand because it's lower than it should be, and then I can zoom out a little bit. Here we go. Sorry about the shake. See? Now you can see it in the frame. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone else in this talented group has done. So I'm not going to put it in the frame yet because it's not dry, but I think you can agree with me that stamping for anything but a card is also a lot of fun. So thanks for joining me. Be sure to give my channel a subscribe. At the bottom right hand corner there's a red button, and a thumbs up and a comment, and I will be ever so happy. So have a super day. Take care. Bye.